Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Off the Cuff where Liverpool have beaten Hoffenheim by 4 goals to 2 and guaranteed their place in the draw tomorrow for the Champions League. Lads, I'm absolutely delighted to have Randal and I'm absolutely delighted to have Matt with me. And Randal watched the game all the way in LFC Philly. And Randal, how did you enjoy the game, buddy?
Oh, it was great. I mean, my friend right after the match texted me and said that was football sex for the first 20 minutes, and I said I couldn't describe it any better. It was just I was up. I'm in my apartment by myself, and I'm up, up on the edge of my seat, and it was great. I mean, Liverpool's back where they belong.
Absolutely. There's nothing sexier than a European night at Anfield, I have to say. So I get where your mate was coming from, and that first 20 minutes was stunning.
Yes, it was. And I mean, even Klopp said it, after that I forget, I think it was Chan's second goal. And it was just, he turned to the crowd twice and said, "That's football," with a fist pump in the air. That's football. You know what I mean? And it is. I mean, his heavy metal football was on display tonight. Probably. I mean, I don't remember more on display since he's been here, honestly.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had that urgency from the start that we seem to be missing over the last few months. But Matt, you were lucky enough to be at the game, and thank you so much for rushing back to join us on the pod. What was the atmosphere like inside the stadium, buddy?
Oh, it was unbelievable. The Cop End was in full noise from the get-go. Absolutely amazing. It's the best I've seen it in quite a while, to be honest. Anfield has got its criticisms lately of not being what it was of old, but tonight really showed what Anfield's about. European night in front of the lights, just can't beat it.
I mean, you could hear it. On TV from the time the broadcast, had the mics on, around in and around the stadium, and you could just hear that the Cop was in full voice. And when you're not at the game, you're watching it on TV from far away, as a lot of us Liverpool supporters are. And that's what we love. We could just be right in there with you guys. So it was great to hear.
I also have to say a big thank you to Phil as well, who was at the game and doing all the periscoping for us tonight. So I appreciate that one, Phil, and I know it went down very well with the guys on Twitter. Lads, were you, I suppose I'll come to you, Randal, on this one first. Were you shocked to see the same 11 as the first leg when the team came out and Klopp announced who he was starting?
I mean, I think just one. I just think from at the weekend with Robertson's display, I just thought that he deserved, the spot in the 11. And I know Moreno gets a really bad rap, but I think a part of it is he plays on the same side as Lovren. And I mean, Klopp wants a, attacking wingback. And I mean, Moreno is probably 85-15 when it comes 85% attacking, 15 defending. And then when you're on the same side as Lovren, he gets a bad rap. But to your point, to your question, I believe, I was surprised just with that, one change or non-change. I thought Robertson would come in the side after his performance at the weekend, but there again, he's probably being smart, and he got through it. So now it looks good. He could play him against Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Robertson would be nice and fit. Matt, I was expecting one or two things, either what Randal just addressed there and Robertson to start at left back, or perhaps even Milner to go into midfield with Gini having a rest because he hasn't been in great form lately. Did you think the starting 11 was a bit of a shock, or did you predict that the same 11 were coming out?
Yeah, I agree with Robertson. I was very surprised Robertson didn't start tonight. And with Arsenal ahead at the weekend, I thought we would rest a couple more players. Wijnaldum or Can for Milner was something I could have seen happening. And I was surprised we didn't see either Sturridge or Solanke start tonight. With the job half done, I thought, we know how Klopp in the past, Stoke City last season, he likes to save the players for if we need them rather than just use them from the start when he's resting players, which I fully understand. So I was surprised not to see maybe a bit different up front, but hopefully they'll be okay for the weekend anyway.
And what were the feelings in and around the stadium? Was anybody surprised, or was there any murmurs in the stand about Moreno starting?
There's the same old with Moreno and Lovren as well. A few people thought Klavan had put forward his point at the weekend as well with a decent performance. Obviously, Moreno and Lovren do have a lot of critics, but so there were people that thought maybe one or the other shouldn't have played, but I thought Moreno had a very good game at times today. I thought going forward he was brilliant.
I agree.
There are a couple of moments defensively, as we all know, with Moreno, it does happen. But I think this season he's definitely improved, and I think we do need to give Moreno a chance. So hopefully the criticism does calm down a little bit, because I just think it's the same as Guardiola's defence at City. It's very hard to defend for a Jurgen Klopp team, whether you're Trent Alexander-Arnold, Daniel Klein, Moreno, Milner, whoever.
Yeah, I mean, Moreno. Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say Moreno and Mane. Them just linking up on overlaps down that left-hand side. I mean, I know he's a liability, and I'd be the first one to say, to just complain about Moreno, over the years. But I just think that link-up play that Moreno and Mane have down the left side, when it comes to offensive, going forward, I love to watch it, and that was on display today.
Yeah, it's tough at times for, I suppose, Klopp and the team to get that balance right between attacking and defending, because if your mindset is, as you said, when Gini gets the ball or when Mane gets the ball on the left, to overlap instantly, if we turn over possession at any stage there, we are wide open.
Oh, wide open. Yeah, I mean, it's just part of it. I mean, that's what we love to watch. I mean, even the American announcers over here were saying that, Moreno has been maligned and everything like that. And, and they just said with this attacking, it makes it, as a neutral, to watch Liverpool go back and forth. I mean, it's a joy to watch. And for us, when it's the positive results, then that's why we love them.
Yeah. When we win, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Matt, we better get through the goals because we have a lot to fucking get through. But Emre makes it 1-0 with the aid of a deflection. And what do you say about Emre? He's really coming along nicely, and we better get him to sign this damn contract, because I got to be honest, Matt, I'm worried.
We better get him to sign this contract. He was exceptional tonight. That was one of his best performances in a red shirt. I think recently I feel like Emre Can in games, he can do the odd brilliant thing, but he's very inconsistent. But tonight, if he can play the way he played tonight, we'll have no problems. And yeah, we better get that deal signed, because he was unbelievable tonight. Every time he got the ball, he looked up, got it under control, he'd take a man on, spread the play, and the 2 goals were to his credit. And you could argue he was unlucky not to get a hat-trick.
Yeah.
True. I mean, it was his first professional game with 2 goals. So that's the first time he scored more than 2 goals in a professional game. So I thought that was interesting.
He wanted the hat-trick. You could see he wanted that hat-trick.
Yeah. Well, when he was coming off, there were a couple of lads behind me in the Kop, and they just turned around and said, give him a round of applause, he's earned it tonight. And the whole Kop end just really got behind him as he come off. It was probably the biggest reaction of the night, other than maybe when Mane come off at the end. That was also a big reaction. And yeah, he deserved it. He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant tonight.
Randal, we'll move on to the second goal, and it was a bit fortunate for Salah, but he was in the right place at the right time. Gini hits a shot, strikes the post, and simple tap in for Salah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just Gini. I mean, he took that, the ball was coming from his left-hand side, and the ball comes in, and he just touches it, just with a flick of his right foot. It comes off the post, and Salah stays onside, which it is hard there. You want to crash goal. And he, luckily stayed onside, and it was a tap in. So I mean, I think that's 3 in his first 5, or 3 in his first 4.
Yeah, he's turning out to be a fantastic piece of business. I keep saying this. I seem to be saying this on every podcast, but the fee that we paid for Salah just looks more and more reasonable as the days go on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's Salah. Yeah, Salah, Firmino, and Mane for 100 mil. Like, I mean, that's if you think about that, if they redid that for just 100 with the 3 of them. So that I thought that was interesting. I read after the match too.
It's insane in this day and age. Hearing that,
exactly,
insane.
No, that's what I mean. It's so I love it. I mean, that's where I'm not trying to get off topic too much, but you read on Twitter, and we know how our fans are when they ride the ownership and into the guys in order. But when you take a fact like that Mane, Firmino, and Salah is 100 million, that's good business. I know we can't be perfect, but I mean, that right there is, like you said, is shocking.
It's almost getting to the point where we're saying, who was that young Brazilian lad the Barca were after again? I can't remember his name. What's he called?
I know. Yeah.
The third goal was probably my favourite one of the night, if I'm being honest, Matt. It was a beautiful ball from Gini to Mane down the left, and Mane he seemed to just float the ball to the back post to Emre, who cushioned it home to make it 3-0.
Yeah.
Football at its best, right from the Wijnaldum pass all the way through. Just football at its best. Mane was having a party with their right back. He didn't have a clue. He could not get anywhere near him any time. anytime he got the ball, I was just screaming, just run at him, because he couldn't stop him. The right back just couldn't stop him, and he got around him, and as the ball came over, you saw it fall to Shannon. It was only ending at one place. It was just beautiful, beautiful football. I mean, Gini all night, again, another player who was brilliant, and that pass was just showed him at his best to set up that attack, and the way we play it just complements so many of our players in so many ways. It's beautiful to watch.
It was.
Oh yeah, we had their defense. You know, they had their left side on skates, and that's where I said earlier that that's where Klopp turned and just said that's football with a fist pump. I mean, it's a beautiful game when you see that goal right there.
And Matt, the key to that goal came, exactly as you said, from Gini moving the ball quickly, and that's what we're capable of. If we move the ball quickly, get it out to our wide players, just don't get stuck bogged down with the ball in the middle. If we can move it quickly and change direction quickly, we are golden, because our wide players are just lightning fast, and it gives them every opportunity to get in down the wings.
Well, signing Salah, it's almost as if we've got Mane 0.2, isn't it, really? They're both so good at what they do, just getting down the line, getting past them, and getting the ball across, getting a shot on goal, whatever it is. And Salah is what we missed when Mane was at the African Cup of Nations last year. And to have it on both sides it's frightening. And the fact we can just get the ball, and all we have to do, it's like playing FIFA at times with us, all we have to do is hit it towards the corner and one of them will get it.
It is.
As simple as it seems, it's so beautiful to watch at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were up. Sorry, Craig. I mean, we were up. I don't know the exact score line, but we still were attacking with Firmino, Salah, and Mane at the top, and it's frightening if you're up 2 goals and you still have those 3 running at you. You know, after time. And I mean, as a Liverpool fan, we love it, but it's got to be a nightmare for opposing center backs in the league.
The way the guys came out tonight just left Hoffenheim with nothing they could do, to be honest, because what way do you set up against a team like ours that's capable of defending with a high line, that's capable of catching you on the attack, that's capable of getting in behind your defenders? It must be an absolute nightmare for opposition managers to sit down and work out a strategy. Now, there are faults in our team, but there are in every team. So we are going to see stages throughout the season where cracks will show, but going forward at the moment, guys, there's very few better teams in Europe. Yeah,
100%. And we're missing Coutinho and Lallana. Imagine what we're going to be like when they're both fit and playing again. It's fantastic to see the amount of attacking talent we've got. Like, in terms of going forward, we're up there with the top of the league. And if we can sort out our defence, like, no one's going to want to play us. We're going to be frightening to any team we go to or who come to Anfield. And the only way to play against us will be try and play for 0-0. That's so many teams did last season. But the thing is, if we tighten up our defence, they're not going to be able to get those 1-0 wins late on either. And teams are going to have to come, and like Hoffenheim did today, they had to step out and go for the game. They weren't in the position where they could sit for a 0-0, maybe hope for a 1-0. They had to get goals. And that just meant it was game over for them from the start, really, because they were never going to be able to stop us with what they had to do tonight.
Nope. And Randal, the 3-0 scoreline was no more than we deserved, to be fair, but we did the most Liverpool thing ever then. And Dejan Lovren picks up the ball and gives away a sloppy pass in the centre, well, just I suppose in between the halfway line, the 18-yard box. And then they play in Uth, I think the guy's name was.
Yeah, Mark Uth, at the 28th minute. And I mean, it's just time after time, Lovren just makes, a bonehead play and he gets exposed. And I think that's just the glaring, obvious, weakness. And, there's a guy that goes by three letters that we just need to somehow get the deal done. And I'm hoping now we are, through into the group stages. I don't know if it was about money or what it was for Van Dijk, but I just feel like it's got to be him or somebody out. There's got to be. That's my problem. Was there was I think City signed somebody, I believe, but there was just a couple other center backs out there. I mean, if it's not Van Dijk, Lovren, if we want to be where we want to be this year, we need to figure that out. So I mean, it was just another one.
Well, the murmurings coming out of the ITKs on Twitter are that the deal looks to be done, and any information, and we don't get very much, and we certainly don't post it, but any information that we seem to be getting our way seems to suggest that a deal for Van Dijk could well be done, and very soon.
I mean, I saw it was a retweet, and it said it was Van Dijk's mate, and it was like 4 snap, I think Instagram pictures, and it was one was the game, on TV, and then one was Liverpool, the team celebrating a goal, and on the top it just had two emojis, and it was a runway and a plane. So, and it's just, I think it's a cryptic message, but I don't know how far. I don't know who obviously retweeted it, and if it really is Van Dijk's mate, but those things are out there now that, like you said, I think the deal is done. It just needs to be 100% signed, sealed, and announced.
Well, as you said, that there was kind of a few murmurings around that maybe we had to qualify before Van Dijk was going to commit and really make that push with Southampton or drag his agent in to say, look, we want this deal done. But now we are there. So fingers crossed this deal's going to get over the line very soon. But lads, just moving, before we move on from the Hoffenheim first goal, I want to ask, could Mignolet have done better, or am I just being too harsh?
I'll let you go first.
I've only seen it once, so I can't really say that much, to be honest. I didn't feel like it at the time, so I can't really say yeah. But at the same time, I can't say no. So you two are both much better equipped to answer this, because like I said, I've only seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he can, and I mean, I'm not, just to preface this, I'm not a Mignolet hater, as some people are. So I give him the benefit of the doubt, and I just think he could have done better, and I believe he would tell you that, and the score line, it didn't kill us, so it's live another day type of thing. But like I said, I think he would say he could have done better there.
The only thing that got to me about it was, and I would have said this about any keeper, was it was a shot that was curling away from him and not towards him. So it was going across him. So maybe I am being a little bit harsh. And as you said, it didn't come back to haunt us, thankfully. So that brings us into half-time, guys. And a 3-1 lead at half-time, we'd have all bitten our hand off for. No changes at half-time. We come out into the second half, and our fourth goal was something, Matt, that I absolutely loved about Henderson, in that he out-muscled and out-tackled their centre-back to win the 50-50 ball and laid it off to Bobby, who got his tap in. And that, for me, is everything I want to see on a football pitch, Matt. Even at 3-1 up, Hendo was decisive, and he was willing, even on a yellow card, to go through that player for the ball, and I love seeing stuff like that.
Henderson was arguably our best player on the pitch tonight. He was outstanding, and that goal summed it up. He was everywhere tonight. He was everywhere, putting a foot in, moving the play along, and just doing what he does so well in that number 6 role. And he is so underappreciated in what he does. He really is. Because when he went out to injury last season, that's when our season dived into the ground, really. Yes. And I feel if we can keep him fit, defensively, we do look a bit stronger, not a lot stronger, but he adds so much to that midfield, and he does a job that none of our other midfielders can quite do. I mean, Chan tried it. I'm sure Genie's tried it a couple of times, but no one can quite do that number 6 role like Henderson. And obviously, letting Genie and Chan go forward, it's where they're better. Every other midfielder we have is so much better going forward. And that goal did just sum up everything Jordan Henderson's about. Hard work, commitment to the cause, just never say die attitude. It was brilliant.
It was nice to see Firmino got his name on the score sheet as well, Randal, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And I mean, that's what I mean. And to Matt's point, it's Hendo's in that number 6 role, but where that tackle was, that was almost at midfield. So, I mean, he just runs and runs and runs and covers so much ground. And like you said, Craig, even on a yellow, he sticks his nose in there. And, being the captain, like, that's all you want to see. I mean, I think it's great to see this early in the season, the intensity that he has, and his health. It's not any surprise that he is playing the way he is. And like you said, Matt, being our best player on the pitch, he's healthy, or at least his pain. I think his injury is pain tolerance. So the pain tolerance right now, it's enough that he can handle.
I have to say, I thought Firmino was awesome tonight, by the way, lads. I thought he covered every blade of grass. He didn't give anybody a minute to settle. He was dragging defenders left, right and centre. He was making space for Mane to get in on the left, for Salah to be in over the right. It would have been a crying shame, Matt, if he had gone away tonight without that goal, because I just think Firmino was stunning.
Yeah, he deserved it.
He was incredible. I think if Henderson wasn't man of the match, then Firmino was, because, again, it could have been either one of the two. They were both brilliant tonight. And Firmino, he shows exactly what he offers in that false 9 role. He wins the ball back so often for a striker. It's almost unheard of how good he is and how much work he puts in defensively. When you compare him to, say, Daniel Sturridge when he's in the team, you realise how much Firmino really gives the team. And attacking, defensively, everything. And it just fits into this philosophy Klopp has, everyone together, forward, back. And yeah, he's just brilliant. Brilliant to see him. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah, Matt, I was going to say that. I just didn't know if I wanted to bring Sturridge into it, but I was going to say Roberto Firmino is everything that Daniel Sturridge isn't when it comes to everything but scoring goals, taking that out of the equation, to just be that, harassing center backs and central midfielders, that striker role to win it back. And I mean, that's all what Klopp needs in his heavy metal football and that Jurgen press. So, I mean, I was going to say that's, Firmino is everything that Sturridge is not when it comes to, that part of the game. So, yeah.
100%.
The only point about Firmino, and I raised this on Twitter, and I had to prefix it by saying that I really rate Bobby Firmino, but he just seems to be missing one or two opportunities for me lately that he should be putting away. And I think over the two legs, he'll feel that he probably should have got 2 more goals, one in each leg, lads. And that's the only fault I can find in his game, is that he needs to work on his finishing.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's tough saying that because he offers so much more in other areas, but if he's going to be our striker, if he could add 5-10 extra goals a season to his tally, he will just be awesome. There will be no more debate then about who starts up front, if it's him or Sturridge.
No, and I mean, I just think we're gonna see it play out, obviously, but just with Firmino, Salah, and Mane up top, I think adding that other blazer down one side is going to open it up for Firmino too, where he could net 5 or more goals. I mean, I'm optimistic for that.
I mean, I think the thing with Firmino is he does so well in bringing the rest of our players. And although everyone does speak about the fact we don't have this 20 goal a season striker, so to speak, but not every other team has, what was it, 5 players we had over 10 goals last season. You've got whole front three. You've got obviously Coutinho now playing in midfield when he comes back. You've got Lallana, who tends to, get around 10. And I think I said to a few mates not long ago when fantasy football was coming about, Firmino is a solid pick because you won't only get your goals, get you so many assists.
Oh, he's in my team. I can guarantee you that much. And I think he's only 8.5 million, if I'm correct.
Fantasy
football.
Fantasy.
Him and Chicharito were straight into my team because they were too good value not to put in.
Yeah, exactly the same here.
Matt, there was a question I wanted to ask, actually. So we went 3-0 up really quickly tonight, and the crowd were amazing. The players were amazing. It was just, they were willing each other to get through it. But there's always going to be that lull then, isn't there, after you got 3-0 up, where when Hoffenheim score, it goes back to 3-1, and there just seemed to be a lull throughout the entire middle of the game, as if we all knew the job was done, and what do you do at this point?
It is a standard thing, isn't it? I suppose when it gets so far and then you take your foot off the pedal and it does slow down. But I think credit where it's due to Hoffenheim, they did really well to sort of fight their way back in, and
they didn't give up.
They buried. They did keep going, and they made a change just after you went 3-0 up, and I'm not sure what it actually changed.
Flat back 4.
But yeah, whatever it was, it improved them a lot, and.
They brought on Uth.
Was it Uth?
Sorry, Matt. Yeah, they brought on Uth at the 24th minute, and then he scored 4 minutes in, and it just seemed like after that it was just a little subdued. The crowd, and they even said the announcer said it on TV, and then it seemed like pick it back up even before the halftime. So
I think it's just what happens, isn't it? Really, everyone thought the game was over. Even in the second half, a few of the players thought it was over. We wouldn't have conceded that second one if it wasn't for complacency, really. It was just poor. And even the first one, you could claim Lovren was complacent with the pass as well. But I think credit where it's due, Hoffenheim were a very good opposition. And I think their manager will definitely be a man we've got to keep an eye on over the next few years, because he's only, 29, is it?
I think he's 30 years of age, I think. I could be wrong.
It's old.
He's not.
Unbelievable.
He started off, he was in Bayern's academy system, and they had high hope from there, but then he took the Hoffenheim job and has done great things.
Yeah. I was really impressed with the way they were tactically set up, and I think we just ran right the first bit, but then obviously it calmed down. They set themselves up properly, and credit to them, they steadied the game out. But at the same time, like we all know, the game was dead and buried, wasn't it?
you could see that they had that little bit of lacking of nous of European football. They stuck to the principles almost too much at times, Matt, and they didn't try and kind of win the game, if that makes sense. The tie over two legs, they just wanted to go and outplay Liverpool, it seemed. They didn't have the tactical nous to win ugly at times if necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
There was the one point in the first half when they were playing really good football and they broke into the box and the ball fell to one of their players around the corner of the 6-yard box, and instead of just putting his foot through it, he tried squaring it once more and it was intercepted and we cleared the ball.
Yeah.
And I turned around to my dad on the ground and I said to him, I was like, if we'd done that at 3-0 down, I would be livid. It was just, they were at times trying to be too nice with the ball, and credit to them, it's very attractive football and whatever, but at the stage they needed to just get their heads down and focus on the job at hand. And I think, lack of experience could be massively down to that.
But they didn't give up, and Randal, as we spoke about, they went and got a second goal, and this was the goal that really frustrated me, Randal, because this was the thing we don't want to see. It was a straightforward ball into the box, and yes, Wagner is a big lad, but it was too easy.
It's time after time where I just feel like, and Matip wasn't involved in this, it was Lovren again, but I just feel like both of them are too nice. Like, we need a Martin Skirtle back in inside to be, not specifically Martin Skirtle, obviously, but like somebody that just, Lovren, yes, the guy was pulling down on his shirt, but that happens every time they're in the box, but it's just time after time, we just get scored on from a set piece. That it's just a basic, cross into the box right there. And, it was two Liverpool guys there and it was Wagner. And it's just, like I said, I'm just so frustrated with Lovren, because I feel like he doesn't have that, that killer instinct or that edge about him, to just, I don't want him to take fouls in the box or anything like that, but it's just, I just feel like he gets muscled, and that's maybe part of the problem when it comes to set pieces with him.
Matt, from inside the stadium, what was your view of that? Did you feel that Lovren was a fault, or did you feel it was just poor defending all around?
Well, I was at the other end, so I couldn't really see too much into detail. But yeah, it just seemed one of those. It seemed we just didn't attack the ball. We didn't deal with the problem, which is what we say so often with aerial balls and whatever. And yeah, it was just, I think it was a whole team thing, really. I think just we looked flat, we looked done, we looked tired in a way, rather worryingly.
Matt and Craig, do you understand what I'm saying about, like, I'm just throwing Skirtle out there because he was just a menace. He looked like a serial killer, but, and how he played. But I just feel like it's sometimes those two, Matip and Lovren, just don't have that, edge about them. And, sometimes that can win the ball, or that can, if you're undercutting the guy going up for the corner and just using your backside to kind of push him off the ball indirectly, it just seems like they're, I'm pulling straws here, but I'm just trying to find out what.
I do 100% hear what you're saying, and it's quite embarrassing how we're pinning our hopes on one guy we don't even have. But I think, again, the answer is Virgil van Dijk.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. He probably isn't the answer, but he's certainly the start of the answer, because it's I think it's a bit deeper than just one player coming in. It's a systematic failure.
Oh yeah, as in terms of, a player that will come in and will be that big, aggressive, physical animal with sort of lacking at the moment at the back. I feel like Van Dijk, obviously, he's an absolute monster. Mm-hmm. And that is the one thing that really does impress me about him. He's just everywhere and he wins everything. And I think, that is what we miss. We miss someone who's going to put their body on the line. A bit like David Luiz does for Chelsea.
Yes.
Players like that, they'll put their body on the line and they'll just win it, and they will put whatever they can onto the ball and get rid of it.
Because that's Matip. Matip's style is to be, composed, under control. Yes, he's, 6'11" or whatever he is exactly. So that's a little bit imposing, but he's skinny as a rail. So I just feel like, yes, when you walk onto the pitch and you see Van Dijk over there, I just feel like he's not that you need, any intimidation factor. That's not what I'm getting at. It's just like, I just think he's more imposing and, figure for a center back. And I think to work with Matip, I'm not trying to get off track, but I just feel like that would be a better partnership than even Lovren on his best day, even if he hasn't made these mistakes in the last probably over 10 since last year.
Yeah, no, it's a valid point, and I don't want to get bogged down in the negatives because I suppose tonight's a night for celebration, and
definitely
to the players as well. Mentally, they were probably already there at this point. That they knew the tie was dead, and they probably, you have to think about, they don't want the injuries. But look, it was basic defending. But we'll push on, lads, and I just want to close this game out by asking you for your man of the match, please. Randal, you first.
My man of the match is Jordan Henderson. I just believe that he covered, I don't know the exact stats, but I feel like he covered the most ground in the whole game. And like you said, that his challenge for Firmino's goal, I just think that shows, the intensity, the lead by example, everything. It's not only man of the match, but it's like, man of, going forward to show, like I said, leading by example and just the intensity that he has just to go forward and lead as our skipper.
And for yourself, Matt?
I think we're going to have to agree. I think we're going to have to stay to Henderson as well. I think he's reminded people tonight that we don't need a Naby Keita in that number 6 role. We need Jordan Henderson in that role. We don't need a new player. There's a lot of people have speculated over summer. There's a lot of doubters he's got at Anfield at the moment. And it's not the first time he's had doubters at Anfield either, but I think tonight he's shut every single one of them up and shown that captain armband's his, that spot in the team's his, and nobody's coming to take it very soon.
Yeah, I'd be exact same, guys. I'd make it a full house. Jordan Henderson for me as well. Before I let you guys go, I just want to have a quick look ahead to the Champions League draw tomorrow. And we are in pot 3, so just looking through.
Yeah, actually, I have the picture of the pots here. Let me get that up. So I can
have it here myself as well. So I'm just trying to work through some possible scenarios. And Jesus,
what are the odds that we draw Barca?
It's I'm just looking at it now. It's well possible. So in pot one, we have Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Juve, Benfica, Monaco, Spartak Moscow, and Shakhtar Donetsk. So they're all league winners because that's the new way it's done this season. Isn't it? Pot 1 are all the winners of their national leagues. In pot 2, then we've got Barca, Atletico, PSG, Borussia Dortmund, Sevilla, Manchester City, Porto, and United. So obviously we can't face City or United from that group.
That second pot is horrible.
It's horrendous. It should be pot 1 probably.
I know.
Especially my team I want from pot 1 is Benfica because I'm wary of those long trips across Europe. So that I put out Porto in pot 2 as well. So it's not nice looking at those two pots together.
We're then in pot 3, so we're in there with Napoli, Spurs, Basel, Olympiacos, Anderlecht, AS Roma, and Besiktas. Then pot 4, which I suppose technically should be the weakest pot, has Feyenoord, Maribor, Leipzig, hopefully minus Naby Keita, Celtic, CSKA Moscow, Sporting Lisbon, Apoel, and Qarabag. So look, outside of Leipzig, you wouldn't really be fussed taking anybody from that pot. Celtic would be nice to get, but let's just work through a couple of scenarios, lads. Worst case scenario from pot 1. So I suppose really it's a toss-up between Real Madrid, Juve, and Bayern.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I'd agree, yeah. So
just, let's say for argument's sake, we'll take Bayern, because that frees us up then to get Barcelona out of pot 2.
Yeah, to be honest, the way the transfer window's going, I'd rather take Barcelona over Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, that could well be true. I agree.
Because as a squad, I've said it for the last few years now, Barcelona have lost many great players lately, and they're just not replacing them.
No, they're not. And the results aren't. I mean, without that crazy comeback last year, they would have been knocked out. Even earlier.
Look, it's clear that they were shocked by the Neymar transfer, and they never thought that his bio clause would be met. But at the same time, it's really poor forward planning from their board not to see this coming down the line. And I don't mean Neymar. I mean the succession of players that aren't coming through to replace the Messis, the Iniestas, because I think Messi could well be on the wane, and nobody's going to question how good a player he is and was. But to me, he just looks like he's had the peak of his powers, and
there's a lot of speak of Man City at the moment, isn't there?
Yes, that's the rumor.
Yeah, 300 million or something ridiculous along those lines.
325. Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to be, the ambassador for? What ambassador's role are they going to make up from there to justify the FFP regulations?
Yeah.
I mean, that's to the point. Like I said before, Mane, Salah, and Firmino, 100 mil. And I mean, I know it's messy, but we're going over the 300 million now. It's just insane.
There's no team actually just looking through because you're taking out City and United from pot 2 because obviously them being from the same country we can't play them. So you're left with Barca, Atletico, PSG, Dortmund, Sevilla, and Porto. So Porto is obviously the team you'd be hoping for from pot 2.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But like I say, I'm personally hoping for Benfica in pot 1, so you can't have both, can you? So yeah.
I mean, I guess it's Porto and then Sevilla. I mean, Sevilla's not anything you want to, sniff your nose at or anything, but I think that would be the 1-2 if we had to do it.
I suppose Dortmund haven't improved masses since we last played them either. So as good as Dortmund are, I think if you're looking at, the positives, I'd take Dortmund over the other lot in there anyway.
I'd almost look at going Bayern Munich and Porto for my ideal two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I reckon, I think Bayern Munich are a team that's aging as well. I'm not basing this on what we did over the summer to them. That's completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems to me like they're a team on the down. But look, there's so many permutations. Isn't it great just to be in the conversation and looking forward to the draw tomorrow, guys?
Oh, it's great just to be able to play around, like you said, just talk about who we want, and it hasn't even really set in for me. I feel like I'm going to get off of this pod and just be like, wow, we're back where we belong. And
Matt, are you looking forward to some more nights at Anfield under the lights?
Oh, I can't wait. Hopefully from away as well. I'm going to look to maybe go and have a little bit of a tour this season if I can, if money and my studies allow me. I just can't wait. The whole thing has got me so excited.
It's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait for the winter, the dark nights to come in where there's nothing to look forward to during the week except Tuesday and Wednesday nights again.
Yes. I mean, that's right, true, Craig. When I was talking to you before Matt came on, we were talking about my trip that I'm planning to come over, and I'm not. That's one of the plans is that week of this March 7th and 8th would be I think it's like it's the first knockout round. So I'm not getting ahead of myself, but it's just great. I've had this trip planned for a couple months, at least the dates, and just to have this as another wrinkle that could happen in fall to where I have the chance to travel. The lads told me that it's almost easier for me to go with them away to a European night than it is to get something at home. So I'm just excited for the chance.
Well, I hope for both of your guys' sakes that we get some great ties and that you both get to see some amazing football. Lads, I'm going to leave it there, but before we go, I've just got a couple of things to tell our listeners about. Tomorrow, following the draw, we'll be doing ARW Weekly, so that'll be hosted by Phil tomorrow night, so it'll be a reaction show really to the draw and see who we get, see what nights we have to look forward to. Then we'll be back at the weekend with another off the cuff following the Arsenal game, and that's hopefully going to be after another big victory. Huge thanks to our sponsors, by the way, armortalent.com and painsolutionslim.co.uk for the support they've shown us. Massive thanks to Matt for joining us straight after the game, buddy. You have no idea how much I appreciate you running back.
Oh, you're more than welcome, mate. It's my pleasure.
And it's always a pleasure to have our friend Randal on from LFC Philly. Randal, thank you so much, mate.
Yes, thank you. And I just wanted to add, we were about to submit our application to become an official Liverpool supporters group here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, on the East Coast of the United States. So, wish us good luck with that. We're submitting our application this week. I'm hoping everything goes through. And we've had great crowds here in Philadelphia and support the Reds. So if you guys can support us, just follow us on our Twitter. It's LFC Philly _YNWA. And thanks again for everything, Craig, you've done for me since we've met. And Matt, I hope to meet you over the pond sometime soon.
I'm sure we will. If you're coming over next year, I live in Liverpool, don't I? So I'll be about.
Sounds good. Thanks, mate.
For all your listeners out there, give Randal a follow. The guys at LFC Philly, they really are a lively bunch. They have a great Twitter account. There's always lots of people at the games. And any of the OLSCs I've met from America and around the world have just been amazing to interact with. And we've got amazing fans, guys. So look, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks to the guys for coming on. The Reds are back in Europe where we belong. Up the Reds.